The year is 2020. Star Wars feels broken after the sequel trilogy and the community was divided, but then The Mandalorian Season 2 came out and restored all hope for the future of Star Wars. Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and freaking Luke Skywalker all returned and it gave us fans something to actually look forward to. 2 years passed and we were given a mixed bag of shows. Andor was incredible, but the shows we were most looking forward to, like Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, felt rushed and honestly a little passionless. The Mandalorian always felt like Disney's crown jewel. It was the one series that wasn't controversial and pretty much every Star Wars fan agreed was amazing and brought back the essence of George Lucas' Star Wars. So even though some of these other shows had dropped the ball, we at least still had Mando Season 3 to look forward to, right?
Wrong!
The Season 3 finale came out last week, and although I didn't hate the season, I still left feeling empty and disappointed. Majority of the Star Wars community seems to share the opinion that Season 3 was a major step down from the incredible first 2 seasons. So I want to talk about why this season felt so lackluster and explore what they can do in Season 4 to get everybody back on board again. The Season 2 finale was incredible and set up the storyline of Luke training Grogu and Grogu being separated from Din. But then in the Book of Boba Fett they wrap up that storyline in like one episode, and when Season 3 of Mando starts, it's like the Season 2 finale meant nothing. I have a ton of respect for Jon Favreau, and he said it was his idea to reunite Grogu and Din in Season 3, but I just don't buy that. Feels like some Disney board member wanted Grogu back in the show because he's cute and sells toys. The Season 2 finale gave their separation so much emotional weight, so it felt like they would be separated for at least half a season. I love having Grogu on screen, but he really didn't have much to do this season at all besides play around in his IG-11 mech suit. We only got like one scene in this season that fleshed out Grogu more as a character, and it was cool to see, but besides that, he was pretty much useless. The whole season felt pretty directionless. Seasons 1 and 2 had major threats for the characters and had an overarching storyline of trying to find Grogu's people and his origins. The first 2 episodes of Season 3 were pretty good. They threw us back into the world of the Mandalorian and we got to see Mandalore in live action for the first time. But then we had that weird Dr. Pershing episode that felt like a cheap copy of an Andor episode, and in the long run that episode wasn't even that important. The episode was so out of place, it felt like a weird Clone Wars filler episode but was way more drawn out and boring. The next 3 episodes just felt like filler, to be honest. There were cool scenes here and there, and yes, technically they did further the plot, but they did so at a snail's pace, and nothing that interesting even happened. They were just side quests, and the Lizzo and Jack Black storyline was a side quest to a side quest. It was awful. I don't have anything against those actors. In fact, I'm a huge fan of Jack Black, but it just completely takes you out of the story. It makes you feel like you're watching an episode of a Disney Channel show where you're supposed to clap when you see a cameo.
Adam Sandler? What are you doing here?
Waiting for them to play Gangnam Style.
And the fact that this all happened in the 6th episode of an 8-episode season we waited 2 freaking years for is just insulting. The last 2 episodes of the season were by far the best, but they still had their issues. I loved episode 7, I thought it had some great visuals and set up a really cool finale with some twist and a sense of danger for our characters. Din was captured by the Empire, Paz was dead, and the Mandalorians were on the run. But then episode 8 starts, and within like 3 minutes, Din escapes. Like, my dude Gideon, what were you thinking here? You've seen Din take out squadrons of stormtroopers, so you decide to send 2 to take him away.
That's just lazy writing.
The episode had some incredible action set pieces and the CGI looked great, but everything felt so easy and rushed. There was no sense of danger, it felt like watching a kid smash some action figures together. What sucks most about this season is how it treated the storylines that Season 1 and 2 set up. The Moff Gideon clone storyline was wrapped up in the dumbest way possible and didn't feel cool or satisfying at all. There was tension throughout the beginning of the season with Bo and Din fighting over the Darksaber, but it was resolved in the most lame way imaginable. I think that this could have been a way better season if the 2 Mando episodes from Boba Fett were instead the first 2 episodes of Season 3. Because honestly, in my opinion, those 2 episodes were better than anything we got in Season 3. It should have opened with those 2 episodes, and then the middle section of the season would be developing Grogu as a Mandalorian and setting up them taking back Mandalore. Kind of like what we got, but minus all the pirates and Lizzo bullshit. This would make the last 2 episodes hit way harder and feel more earned. I do like the way that the season ended, with Din adopting Grogu, asking the New Republic for work, and settling down on Navarro. There has been speculation that this could be the ending of the show, but I can't see that happening at all. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have talked about how they have long-term plans for this show and these characters, and Jon has talked about Season 4 in the past. The ending puts the characters in a similar position as the first 2 seasons, so there's a lot of room for exciting stuff to happen. My ideal Season 4 would have Din doing bounty hunter work for the New Republic, and as he's doing these jobs, he discovers the Empire is trying to rebuild itself under a new leader, Thrawn. And we know that Thrawn will be in the Ahsoka series, so they're already going in this direction. Din would warn the New Republic of this threat, but they wouldn't believe him, just like they didn't believe the rebel pilot in Season 3. This would lead Din to tell Bo-Katan and the growing Mandalorian society on Mandalore. It wouldn't be strong enough to take the Empire on their own, so they would have to team up with Luke and Ahsoka. But since the Mandalorians and Jedi do not get along, Grogu would be the one to reunite them, becoming the second Mandalorian Jedi after Tar Vizsla. This would set up Dave Filoni's film that is supposed to culminate all the Disney Plus Star Wars shows. And it would be my dream if this movie was a loose adaptation of the Heir to the Empire novel. So yeah, unfortunately the season was pretty mid as a whole and was a huge disappointment after waiting 2 years. It felt super safe and didn't really introduce any new interesting ideas or storylines. But the season wasn't so bad that it ruined the show for me, it just felt really off and lackluster. I am still hopeful for the future of Star Wars and these characters. Hopefully we don't need to wait as long for season 4 to come out, but in the meantime, we have Ahsoka to look forward to. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.